Jiang Shaohua's due date crept closer, almost at the end of the month. These days, Wang Donghua left early and came home late with a few women from the brigade, trekking down into the mountains to gather wild chestnuts. Without sugar tickets, she couldn't buy any from the supply and marketing cooperatives, so she planned to sell chestnuts for cash and quietly buy some brown sugar from the nearby households. At home, the rabbits had given birth again. Normally, a rabbit could have 7 or 8 litters a day, but if nutrition couldn't keep up, the does grew weaker and had little milk. In the past, Du Baoqian had always controlled the breeding, letting them have only 3 or 4 litters a year. Sometimes there were 5 or 6 kids, sometimes 7 or 8, once even 11 at a time. Too many meant they couldn't all be raised. A few would always die. More wasn't necessarily better. This time there were 8 kids. If they all survived until weaning, Jiang Shaohua wouldn't have to worry about eggs for a whole month. Recently, Jiang Rui had been even more diligent about digging rabbit grass. She would almost comb the entire back mountain, often seen bent over by the ridges, and when she went to the river to wash clothes, she would come back with a handful of dandelions for the rabbits. After every exchange, eggs and brown sugar were solemnly placed in the rice jar by Wang Donghua. Without her permission, no one was allowed to touch them. A few days later, Jiang Shaohua's belly began to ache, and she gave birth to a baby girl at home. The Jiang family came the next day. Her mother and sister-in-law each carried a cloth bag stuffed with baby clothes sewn from worn-out fabric. After they entered the house, they pulled a small bag of dried logan from the bottom of the bundle. Jiang Shaohua's eyes reddened. Her maiden family's condition were no better than the Du family's. She could imagine how much effort it had taken to save up for that bag of logan. With a new baby, there were more work everywhere. The Du family quickly split their duties. By day, Du Yufu and Du Baoqiang went to the brigade to dig irrigation canals. After work, they hauled water for the big tank at home and tended the little private plot behind the house. Jiang Rui still looked after the rabbits and cooked 3 meals a day. With experience on her side, Wang Donghua slept in Jiang Shaohua's room, helping care for the child at night and washing diapers during the day. Jiang Shaohua couldn't go out, so she ate all her meals in the room. Every morning, there was a bowl of brown sugar millet porridge and a steamed egg. At noon, egg custard with rice. In the evening, in addition to the usual dishes, she had a bowl of Logan brown sugar water. Every other day, Jiang Rui would go to the fisherman's house to pick up a crucian carp and stew it into soup to help with her milk. It wasn't food a wealthy family would brag about, but for Du family, this was their limit. During this period, everyone tightened their belt so the mother and the child could eat better. On Friday night when Du Baoqian came home from school, she went straight to see her little niece, then was quickly drawn away by the sweet fragrance drifting from the kitchen. Jiang Rui had just finished stewing Logan and was about to carry the bowl inside. When she turned around, she saw Du Baoqian standing at the door, staring fixedly at the porcelain ball in her hands, throat bobbling as she swallowed. "You're back early this week," Jiang Rui said. "Go wash your face, we'll eat soon." "Okay," Du Baoqian answered, but her feet stayed rooted in place. This semester she boarded at school. There were more homework, but the food was far worse than at home. The pumpkin porridge at home used to feel so bland to her, sweetened with saccharin, not real sugar. Now her mouth tasted so plain all day that she wanted to chew on her fingers. Jiang Rui couldn't ignore the greed in her eyes. She sighed. "This Logan is from your sister-in-law's family for her confinement. We can't eat it." "I know." Du Baoqian took a deep breath, then said with a look of yearning, "I'll just smell it. Sister, don't worry about me." Jiang Rui carried the bowl into the room. When she came back out, Du Baoqian was still standing in the kitchen, head lowered, quietly breathing in the scent that lingered in the air, looking both glutinous and pitiful. Jiang Rui shook her head, reached for the brown sugar jar, thought for a moment, then broke off a fingernail-sized piece and slipped it into her sister's mouth. It's so good." Du Baoqian's eyes curved as she grinned. "Sister loves me the most." "All right, go set the table. Call dad, mom, and brother to come eat. Yes, yes. With sweetness in her tongue, she bounced away happily. Her greedy cravings lasted until Changsha was confined and ended, and the family began to dote on her again. Only then did they ease. In the end of the year, the commune distributed grain dividends. Other than money, there were also cloth and cotton tickets. One evening, as the whole family gathered at the table, Wang Tongwa talked about how to use them. When she mentioned the cloth tickets, she paused, glanced at Jiang Rui, and couldn't hide the joy in her eyes. This year's cloth tickets will be used to make new clothes for Baoqing first. Everyone else will have to wait. Isn't there more, Mom? I wanted new clothes too. Du Baoqian pouted, tugging at her sleeves. Your sister needs clothes because she has to meet someone. What are you joining in for? Wang Tong was scolded lightly. Sister is meeting someone? Why don't I know about it? Du Baoqian asked in surprise. You only need to worry about your studies. Wang Tongwa said, ignoring her. She turned to Jiang Rui. Tomorrow, go to the commune. Sell the rabbit fur and buy clothes and cotton. If you are late, all the good patterns will be gone. Jiang Rui nodded. Seeing her younger sister sulking, she gently added, Xiao Shancha doesn't have any new cotton pattern clothes yet. Extra clothes should be used for her first. You're an aunt now. You should let your niece go ahead. Xiao Shancha was the baby girl's nickname. They haven't decided on an official name yet. Hearing this, Zhang Shaohua, holding the child in her arms, looked over and gave Jiang Rui a grateful glance. After dinner, Du Baoqian followed Jiang Rui to the kitchen. Sister, who are you meeting? She asked. Is he from our brigade? Yes, Jiang Rui answered honestly. Is Zhao Nan the one who saved you? Him? Du Baoqian stared. How could it be him? Do you even know him? Help me start the fire first, Jiang Rui said. She put the balls and the chopsticks into the big bowl, added half a pot of water, and directed Du Baoqian to light the stove. Only then did she answer calmly. We are not very familiar. You don't know him and you are going to meet him? Du Baoqian frowned. Sister, why don't you choose someone you like? Jiang Rui only smiled and shook her head. Du Baoqian stared at the fire in the stove for a long time. Slowly, as if speaking to Jiang Rui or to herself, she murmured, I would never do this. In the courtyard, Zhang Shaohua happened to be walking in circles with the baby, coaxing her to sleep. She heard the last sentence and snorted quietly in her heart, then went back into the house. Seeing Du Baoqian soaking his feet comfortably in hot water, she grew angrier and kicked his wooden basin. What's wrong? He asked, startled. What do you think? Zhang Shaohua lowered her voice and hissed. At the dinner table, Bao Qin almost snatched away our daughter's cloth tickets, and you didn't say a word. Mom didn't say she would give them to her. He scratched his cheeks confused. That's because Bao Qin spoke up. If she hadn't, with Mom's partiality, do you think that cloth would still belong to our girl? Zhang Shaohua sneered coldly. I see it clearly now. That Bao Chen is like a leech, sucking the family dry so she alone can study and get ahead. There's no need to put it so harshly. Du Baoqian frowned. Ha! Zhang Shaohua laughed without warmth, recalling what she had overheard. She says she would never be like Bao Qin. Isn't that funny? The whole family supports her so that she can study, go to university, move to the big city. She will fly out of this chicken coop like a phoenix and won't be the same as us, these rural people. Of course she won't have to live like us. Has she ever thought? If not for everything the Du family has done for her and for Bao Qin's sacrifice, would she ever have the right to say such things? She snorted again. Let's wait and see what this precious little sister can give back to the Du family in the future. The next day, Jiang Rui went to the supply and marketing cooperative and chose a piece of red cotton cloth with printed flowers. Under Wang Tongwa's guidance, from measuring, cutting, and basting to final sewing, she brought the family's sewing machine back to life. The machine had been brought when Du Baoqian married. Because new clothes were rare, it had been left collecting dust in the corner. Jiang Rui dragged it out, paddled every day when she had spare time, and finished her padded jacket in 7 or 8 days. Since becoming Du Baoqin, this was the most interesting task she had taken on. She spent 2 or 3 more days and completed a new little outfit for Xiao Shancha as well. Soon the 12th lunar moon neared its end. News came that Zhao Nan had finally returned home to visit relatives. Zhao Liun hurried over to discuss with Wang Tongwa, and they quickly agreed on a time and place for the two young people to meet. Since this was their first meeting, it was suitable for both set of parents to appear, but they couldn't let Jiang Rui go alone either. After some discussions, the Du family decided Jiang Shahua would accompany her. That morning, after breakfast, Jiang Rui was almost pushed into the room and not allowed out. Jiang Shahua opened the box where she kept her wedding dowry, took out her makeup and carefully drew Jiang Rui's eyebrows. She dabbed some red on her lips. Only because Jiang Rui firmly refused did she reluctantly give up on powder. Jiang Rui's complexion was already pale. She looked fine without it. After her eyebrows were done and her hair was combed into 2 neat braids, Jiang Rui put on her new padded clothes and stepped out of the room. Both Wang Donghua and Du Baoqian stared blankly for a moment. "Sister, you look so beautiful today." Du Baoqian was the first to react. "It's really not bad," Wang Donghua said, smiling so hard her eyes curved. Jiang Shahua looked her over with satisfaction. "Baoqian's sewing is good. Other people's padded clothes all look puffy and shapeless. She tucked the waist in here, see? Makes it look a bit western." Du Baoqian circled Jiang Rui, admiring her from every angle, then grabbed her hand. "Sister, I want new clothes like this next year. You have to make them for me too." "I don't think Baoqian will still be living with us next year," Jiang Shahua said with a smile. Wang Donghua glanced at the sky outside the window and urged, "Time's almost up. You two set off. Don't keep others waiting. Baoqian is a young unmarried girl. She will be nervous, Shahua. You are her sister-in-law. Say what needs to be said. Ask what should be asked. Don't let the atmosphere turn awkward." "I know, Mom. Don't worry," Jiang Shahua replied. The two of them left hand in hand. The people they passed on the road all did a double take at Jiang Rui's appearance and asked where they were headed. Jiang Shahua only smiled and said that they were going to the commune to buy New Year goods. As they approached the commune, they saw from a distance a man standing at the bus stop. His back was straight and tall, like a green pine, like a sword stuck in the earth. Jiang Shahua leaned close to Jiang Rui's ear and whispered with a laugh, "Is that him? He looks very spirited." Jiang Rui lifted her eyes to look over. Perhaps sensing her gaze, the man turned around. Both had seen each other's pictures, but meeting face to face was different. Jiang Rui wore her new red floral cotton cloth, lightly tucked at the waist over navy trousers. It highlighted her fair skin and slender figure. Her heart-shaped face held thin curved eyebrows like distant misty mountains, eyes like a winter lake shrouded in fog, and small lips touched with vermilion like wild mountain cranberry. Zhao Nan stood tall in his military uniform, refined and upright. They stared from a distance. Jiang Rui looked away first, fixing her gaze on her feet. Jiang Shahua had no such reservations. She eyed him openly as they approached, whispering in Jiang Rui's ears, "He's tall, taller than your brother. Soldiers really are different. Look at his chest, his waist. He's got energy from head to toe." Up close, she added, "He looks good. Years ago, girls were swooned over Han Wangke's scholarly look, but he seemed soft to me. Men like this, masculine, tough, that's real manliness. You young girls will understand after marriage." Jiang Rui flushed at the implication. "Sister-in-law, enough." "What, suddenly shy?" Jiang Shahua giggled. The bus stop was empty save for Zhao Nan. Jiang Shahua pulled Jiang Rui forward. "You're Zhao Nan, right? This is our Baoqian. I'm her sister-in-law." "Hello." Zhao Nan nodded at her, then turned to Jiang Rui, face serious. "Hello, I'm Zhao Nan." Jiang Rui glanced up briefly. "I'm Du Baoqian." Jiang Shahua nodded, then covered her mouth laughing. Jiang Rui shot her a puzzled look. "Don't mind me." Jiang Shahua waved, grinning. "You two are so proper, like kids meeting for the first time." "Hello, who am I?" "Like little dolls making new friends." "Sister-in-law." Jiang Rui tugged her sleeve. Glancing at Zhao Nan, he was looking right at her. She looked away, cheeks warming. Inwardly though, she relaxed. To man Zhao Nan's soul, she needed proximity, her spiritual energy to nourish him subtly, like the trace she would left on the photo. The best way was constant contact. As a close companion, she had aimed to be his comrade but settled on Du Baoqian's body instead. It seemed to be working. He already felt drawn to her. Jiang Shahua caught their subtle glances and laughed until Jiang Rui smirked. "No need to be so stiff, Anand. May I call you that?" Zhao Nan nodded. "I heard you got home yesterday. Long trip? 40 hours by train." That far must have been tough. Not really. You look sturdy, able to handle it. Zhang Shahua smiled. Like our Baoqin? She seems pale and delicate, but she's tough. Does all the housework, tends the rabbit. I'm her sister-in-law and can't match her. She's just quiet, doesn't sweet talk, but she's the best behaved. Jiang Rui blushed but didn't stop her. Sister-in-law, you silly girl. Zhang Shahua patted her hand, eyes on Zhao Nan. I'm just being honest. Anand, don't you think so? Yes, Zhao Nan said earnestly, no trace of flattery. Neither was talkative, especially not on a first meeting. Zhang Shahua kept things lively with her chatter and smiles, preventing awkward silences. Soon others arrived at the stop. The three stepped aside, conversation fading. The bus rumbled up. Zhao Nan brought 3 tickets, handing 2 to Zhang Shahua. Thank you, she said politely. He waited for them to board, then followed. At home, Zhang Liun had drilled him. Be proactive, thoughtful, and sweet. Don't wait for her to speak. If stuck for words, act generously. Show your best side. Her advice had gone in one ear and out the other before. Now seeing Jiang Rui in person, that faint pull from the photo felt real and stronger. He racked his brain to recall his mother's words. The bus reached the county seat at an awkward hour. Not quite lunch, too cold for park, and too early for movies. They walked the street, Jiang Rui and Zhang Shahua hand in hand, Zhao Nan beside them. All young, he in uniform, Jiang Rui bright and beautiful, Zhang Shahua pretty too. They drew eyes, but the 12th month chill bit hard. They needed shelter. Year and bustle filled the shops. Zhang Shahua each to suggest browsing but held back. Didn't want to seem greedy on the first meeting. Spotting Yangon department store ahead, Zhao Nan remembered his words coaching. Want to look around the corporation? They agreed readily. The place buzzed. After a year's labor, people spurged on New Year's goods. Tickets are numbered. Counters overflowed with purchases carted off like freebies. Zhang Shahua gave. The Du family brought sparingly. Commune tickets were few and staples like sugar scarce, mostly for factory workers. Jiang Rui and Zhang Shahua window shop, content just to look. First floor, cigarette, candies, pastries. Second floor, fabric, wool, clothes. And the third, furniture. Zhang Shahua eyed a 12-inch black and white TV, checked the tag, then traded shocked look with Jiang Rui. They stifled laughs and fled giggling. Even a lifetime of rabbit fur wouldn't cover the price. Terrifying. Zhao Nan trailed them. As they dashed towards the first floor, he asked, anything you want? Jiang Rui paused, shook her head softly. Just looking. Buying for family? We can suggest. Zhang Shahua offered. He nodded. On the second floor, he spotted women wool scarves, trendy from the south, soft and warm. Several dollars each. Big city girls all had them, the salesperson said. Zhao Nan brought 7 outright, dropping dozens of yuan. Zhang Shahua and Jiang Rui stared. Even the clerk walked. Zhang Shahua recovered, joking. Planning to sell scarves now, Anand? Downstairs, he grabbed a pack of fruit candies and toffees, then suggested lunch. Yangon's sole state-run restaurant packed at midday. They claimed a table and Zhao Nan asked their preferences. Menu on the wall, Jiang Rui picked stir-fry rapeseed, Zhang Shahua reddish pork rib soup. He paid at the window and sent tickets to the kitchen. Once he was gone, Zhang Shahua exhaled. His spending stunned me. Cars, most ham and hock over one. He grabs 7 candies. People buy singles. He takes packs. Good thing I played it cool, or he would think of me as a bumpkin. Jiang Rui smiled. Sister-in-law, you are the smoothest in our family. Flatterer. Save those pretty smiles for others. Zhang Shahua winked. He's showing off to you. 7 scars for one family? Yours in it there. First meeting and he's hooked, racking his brains to impress. Jiang Rui pursed her lips. Sister-in-law, quieter. People might hear. Teasing me now? Zhang Shahua urged her bro. I told him you are quiet, but look at you. Chatty when it suits, Lai Wan. Jiang Rui just smiled. Something shifted in Zhang Shahua's view. She had seen Baoqin as hard-working but passive, easy to overlook. On the first day, a shy girl might panic. Baoqin blushed but stayed composed, that calm smile betraying no nerves. And Zhao Nan, quiet, yet his eyes strayed on her constantly. His eagerness showed his interest, but Baoqin, unreadable. Zhang Shahua wondered, maybe everyone misjudged. In this Du family, Baoqin hid the deepest